want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now?
Get rid of the illegals. He's a loser. He's a loser.
You're a criminal. Why do I got to address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now? You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson? You underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in your side, and we're going to be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to take matters in our own hand, and we're going to stop it. You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago. That's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. We're going to turn red. And for some of these city councilmen member, I warn you, do not sit with Brandon Johnson. We're going to get them seats.
You are in violation of the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, the law of the land, the supreme law of the land.
The stupidity to think that you all could come with this type of cut, this type of recommendation, and not come with the true accounting of how much money was spent on these illegals. You all have yet to be transparent with that. That's the biggest financial downfall of the city. You all sit up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaigned and doubled down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example of this Negro right here first. You are going down in history as the worst mayor in America. Let's start with cutting yours. You making too much money. Let's start there. You Democrats, and you remember you told us to defund the police? Remember, you ran on that. Remember, you was the defund the police? Let's start with that. Let's defund the police detail that you have. And let's put the police back in our neighborhood, because we're not for defunding the police.
This was going to happen to you. You got Kash Patel and Pam Bundy that you're going to have to deal with sooner than later. Then it's going to be an audit. Next, it's going to be an investigation. Then it's going to be an indictment. Conviction. That's what's going to happen to you.
I remember when my elementary school in the area that I live in, the Wadsworth Elementary School, was turned into a migrant shelter. And I remember how Democrats talked to us like we were stupid. You need help. The immigrants need help. Y'all gotta work together. They live in poverty. This is something that you have to accept. And they talked to us like we were 5 years old. But y'all wanna talk about Republicans belittling black people and talking to them like they're stupid? I felt like I was 3 years old, like, okay, like I don't know where Venezuela is on a map. Half of the people who support these migrants probably couldn't point to Venezuela on a map. We don't want illegals in our community. We don't want migrants terrorizing our own people. And to have y'all sit up here and say, we have to accept $70 million being given to them when you got black people who are already struggling and need help, it is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. And this election of Donald Trump represents something that is just more than him winning. This is the end of vote blue no matter who. This is the end of they black, you gotta vote for them. This is the end of Democrats saying lesser than two evils. They did that with Hillary. They did that with Biden. They did that with Kamala. It didn't work this time. People are sick and tired because nowadays you got to get your hands dirty. You got to come down and talk to the people. You got to give a little to get a little. Black people are not falling for the okie doke. A long time ago, y'all would say, black people jump. We say, how high? They say, stoop down. We say, how low? They say, go vote Democrat. We would run faster than Usain Bolt to get to the ballot box. But this is the
New reporting from the New York Times today shows that during the first few years of the Biden administration, the United States saw its largest immigration surge ever, adding an average of 2.4 million migrants per year and surpassing the immigration boom of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Several factors contributed to this, including political chaos in places like Haiti, Venezuela, and Ukraine, and, according to the Times, the immigration policies President Biden kept in place until his border crackdown this past June. Immigration became one of the Democrats' biggest liabilities in the 2024 presidential election, and Roger Karma argues in The Atlantic that the party should learn a lesson from this. He writes, for more than a decade, Democrats have struck an implicit electoral bargain. Even if liberal immigration stances alienated some working-class white voters, those policies were essential to holding together the party's multiracial coalition. That bargain now appears to have been based on a false understanding of the motivations of Latino voters.
Realistic to even think about doing some kind of legislation with the Republican Party, which is now a MAGA party, and they want immigrants out. They want the mass deported. They're not going to cooperate with Democrats on a bill.
Well, I think the American people have consistently made clear that while we understand the need, and it is appropriate to make sure that violent felons who are presenting a risk of harm to everyday Americans and who are here unlawfully should no longer be here. While at the same period of time, we should be focused, of course, on those violent felons and not families. And I think public sentiment is going to be critical. Abraham Lincoln often said, with it, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. And though we won't have the gavels, we will have the ability to help shape public sentiment and make sure that the American people push back against far-right overreach if it occurs from the incoming administration or extreme MAGA Republicans in